3 is the reminder. That's how I do it in Abacus.
Thank you so much for sharing that, Darshika. I haven't seen it done in that way. Does anybody else have Abacus that they can do math on?
Nope.
Nope.
I have an Abacus, but I don't do it anymore.
I don't understand what you
I
said.
just got I got hurt yesterday, so it also made it like a sprain. So yeah.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Mm-hmm.
Well, thanks so much for showing that. We are going to get into long division very soon. We won't be using Abacus, but you are certainly able to use that as an extra tool on top of the normal method of solving long division problems that we'll do together. Well, I hope that you all have started on some of your assignments and Bright Thinker already. You have
No, I didn't even open
Princess and the Goblin. Just a minute,
I didn't even open Bright Thinker today.
Oh, okay, Shatish, that's fine, but please don't unmute yourself without permission. So we've got 2 chapters to read in Princess and the Goblin. Who's read those already? Few of you. You're going to hear in the first chapter about a short chapter about Curdie, which is the actual title of the chapter. A short chapter about Curdie. So, and you get to know his mom a little bit. So I would love to hear what you guys think of her. And you hear about the Cobb's creatures as well, which are, strangely enough, the pets of the goblins, basically. They have pets. But as you might imagine, they are terrible, terrifying, and really grotesque, just like the goblins, right? Arima, what did you think of the chapters?
No, I had nothing to say about the chapter.
Okay, let's stay on just literature for now. Darshika, what did you think of the chapters?
First the short chapter about Curdie, I think Peterson is really hardworking and really is a very nice mother and very kind. And about the goblins are getting more like these animals, and the animals are more getting like these goblins.
That's exactly right. I know that was a very interesting point, that the goblins are becoming less and less like humans. Remember, they originally were humans, and they evolved over time to become more like animals, and the animals are becoming more like the goblins and less like actual animals. And yes, Curdie's mother is kind and hardworking. You can tell from her hands that she has rough hands from doing lots of great hard work. Any other thoughts on the chapters before we continue to some of the other subjects? Rashi, what did you think?
I actually sprained my leg.
Oh no. When did that happen? I'm sure it does.
So yeah.
For science and history, you guys are continuing to learn about gravity. There is a Bright Thinker science assignment for today. Some kind of review of things we've talked about, but also some new information about gravity in the sun and our solar system. And in history, some notes. That's all you'll be doing for today. You do have a quiz in history and a quiz in science tomorrow. So make sure that you've got your notes and look over those before your quizzes in those 2 subjects. In literature also, you've got another reading comprehension passage. We're going to continue with about 2 of those per week. And make sure you read through the paragraph, the passage a couple times and really be sure of your answers before you submit those. Okay, any questions or comments about Bright Thinker before we move on to saying the Pledge of Allegiance and school motto for today? Yes, Arjun?
I thought because we didn't do reading comprehensions, I thought that's why we do macaw crabs.
That's what I mean by reading comprehension. McCall Crabs. Yeah, I started off, with some of the Bright Thinker reading assignments, but since those were not working very well, McCall Crabs. But that is considered a reading comprehension assignment because it's just testing how well you understand the information you're reading.
Yeah, I think it's kind of fun actually to do it. So
Good. I'm glad you like them.
yeah.
Yes, I.
There's a notes, but there's a test tomorrow also. So the notes for today or tomorrow?
For which one?
The science gravity notes.
I thought
There are some science notes to go along with a video that it would be better to do before the quiz.
Okay.
But it's not, you could probably still answer a lot of the questions correctly on the quiz without doing them. It's just some extra information on gravity, though. Great, good question about that. Okay, last comment or question from Arima, and then we'll get started on our Pledge of Allegiance.
It's my birthday today.
Happy birthday to Arima!
Thank you.
And it's Nethra's tomorrow, right? You guys are one day apart.
My friend's birthday is today.
That's right. Well, everybody wish Arima happy birthday. You can unmute yourself for a minute and say happy birthday to Arima.
Happy birthday. Happy birthday.
So what are you doing today to celebrate, Arima?
My mom's gonna cook something I like, but I don't know what it is.
It's a surprise?
And that's all I know.
Are you going to have a party?
No.
So just a celebration with your family. That's really nice.
And Miss Garner, my birthday is
you a
in
cake?
18
Yeah, it's like a chocolate cake, and there's like these big chocolate globs that look like kisses. Like the chocolate kisses.
Nice, yeah. Krish, when is your
Miss
birthday?
Garner,
Uh-huh.
18 more days.
18 more days coming up soon as well. And Nethra's is tomorrow. Okay, well,
Mine's at
hope that
February.
you'll have a wonderful evening and enjoy your meal tonight, Arima. Let's get started by saying the Pledge of Allegiance, boys and girls. Would you join me? I pledge allegiance to the flag
Yes.
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor. I will honor those things which are good, true, and beautiful. Respect. I will show respect to others at all times. Service. I will do good things for others without being asked. Excellence. I will strive for excellence in all things. Perseverance. I will fulfill commitments and not give up or act on discouragement. Please join me for a moment of silence. Okay, well, it's great to see you all. Let's get started on some spelling for today. Would you take out your whiteboard and marker? I see you're ready, Darshika. Okay, well, let's start off with some phonograms today. Starting with the of worms. Please write the of worms.
Do we have to write words?
No, just the phonogram. Very good. Remembering to add the W first. Otherwise, it's just the phonogram or. Should you write earthier of worms? Next, please write the phonogram the of hurt. The of hurt. And hold it up when you're done. Oh, like Curdy. That's right, Krish. Next, please write the of bird. The of bird. Okay, time for some spelling words to review now. These words are going to be on the quiz tomorrow. Starting with almanac. Do you remember how to think to spell this one? Almanac. Excellent job with your markings on that one, Arima. It is the third sound at the beginning of almanac. You don't see that one very often, but third sound of aw. Next is lieutenant. Do you remember what silent phonogram we have in this word? Nethra?
IEU.
A-I-E. Oh, and it is spelled I-E-U, yes. So there's a silent A-I-E, and that is the same, and Nether is correct in that spelling pattern for the first syllable, Lou.
Is IEU one phonogram?
It's an unusual phonogram. This is how we are going to mark it. Silent I-E plus the OO-U phonogram that we do not use at the end of English words. Lou. Next, ancient. Ancient. We've done this word a lot with ancient Rome. This should be pretty familiar. Short letter sh is what we use for this one. Good job. Next, let's write empire and emperor.
I thought it was I before E except after C.
Great question. This one doesn't follow that pattern because it's part of that sh phonogram. C and I work together to make the sh sound.
What was the next word?
Empire and emperor. For the rest of class, Nethra, please make sure that you keep yourself muted until you're called on, though. Okay? Empire and emperor. Great job marking yours, Arjun and Saisanov and Arima. Empire and emperor. Okay. And last one, a piece. Like in division, Sally gives 3 seashells apiece to her friends. That means each one gets those little groups. A piece. Think of a piece of pie, using EI piece of pie for this one. A piece. Make sure you've got the phonogram EI piece of pie in a piece. Okay, that is all for our spelling review. Time for a new spelling lesson. Please put your whiteboards away and take out your binder for a new spelling lesson. We're going to try to start spelling lessons at about this time, 11:50 each day, and start well-ordered language earlier, end well-ordered language a little bit earlier, all of that so that we can start math earlier from now on as we're getting to harder units, trying to get an extra 15 minutes or so for our math class every day. So let's take out our binder for a new spelling lesson. Feel free to stretch. As we're moving from one part of our class to the next. Little transition time. You can take your eyes off your computer for a little bit. Shatish, did you hurt your finger like Irene in yesterday's chapter?
No, doctor's appointment.
Oh, did you have a shot?
No, just one blood test and a flu shot.
Okay. Okay, boys and girls, our first word for today's lesson is horse. But it's not the type of horse that you might first think of. Does anybody know a word, horse, what that means, other than horse the animal? Ahana?
I've heard about this word. I don't actually know its meaning, but it's also spelled horse by HOARSE.
You are exactly right. That's how we're going to spell this type of horse.
I know.
And you don't know what it means?
I know the meaning.
Okay, since Arima is the birthday boy, I'm going to let him tell us what he knows about the word horse.
Does it mean like bumpy or rough?
Good, yes. Usually we use this word to describe actually our voice. Have any of you ever had your voice get kind of scratchy and low and rough?
Yeah.
You have a cold?
Mhm.
Like
Yep.
I have
We
a
call that a
hoarse
hoarse voice when you're sick and your voice is kind of scratchy and rough.
Well, Miss Gardner,
Uh-huh.
actually, there's this character in Harry Potter, and there's this guy named Sirius Black, and so he has a hoarse voice.
Oh, good. So described his voice as hoarse, which means not just from being sick, but his voice just naturally is kind of low and gravelly and rough.
Yeah, sometimes that actually happens to me if I don't talk a lot.
Yeah, if you don't talk much, or maybe if you don't have much water, your voice can be kind of scratchy and hoarse.
Yeah.
Miss Gardner, I got a host cold whenever I got a step through. My
Yes.
my voice was a little hoarse.
Good point. Yeah. Okay, boys and girls, keep yourselves on mute until you're called upon. Let's write our word horse. Sound it out with me. We want to really draw out the O and sounds. So we're going to really sound this out slowly as horse. Can you sound that out with me? Horse. Good. What are the sounds? H, O, s, or sounds. The O is O, the O of boat. And we need a silent final E, job 5, which is the S rule, so it doesn't look like a plural. Please pick up your pencil to write horse and draw it out as you write it. Horse. Horse. Horse.
Miss Gardner, I can't hear
Rashika,
you.
sweetie, you can't unmute yourself without permission. Thumbs up if you can hear me. Good. Okay. Silent final E, horse. Cross it out and rewrite it if you have a mistake. Arjun, would you unmute yourself and tell me what markings are needed for this word?
So for O, the O of bow, we underline. And then S, underline. Because of silent final E, job number 5.
Perfect. Now, Arjun, what part of speech do you think this is in the sentence?
Adjective.
The
Because
horse
like
voice.
what kind of voice? Horse voice.
Perfect. Going to give you an example sentence, but you didn't even need it. Okay, boys and girls, that is our first word, horse. Next word today is something that you might have seen outside of your house today, because it is something that is formed from an accumulation of water that's frozen. Sai, do you know what it is?
Snow?
Oh, good guess, but no, it's when there's dripping water that accumulates and it's frozen. Devansh?
Ice?
So close. Shatish, do you know what it is?
An icicle.
Yep, you got it.
I was going to say that.
Icicle.
I thought it was hail.
Icicles are formed when water starts dripping, especially off of like the eaves of a house. And the water drips are frozen, so they just start getting longer and kind of pointy at the end.
I didn't see it
From the
today.
base word ice, though. Okay, sound out icicle with me. Icicle, 3 syllables. So I love your excitement over it, but we got to move on to the sound. So sound it out with me. Icicle, 3 syllables. In the first syllable, I says its name in an open syllable. Sound out the next syllable with me. Icicle. S, I, 2 sounds. K, s, says its second sound in that one. And final syllable, icicle, k, ol, silent final E, job 4. Okay, because all English syllables need to have a written vowel. Icicle. Please pick up your pencil to write icicle. I, syllable break, s, I, syllable break, k, ol, silent final E. If you made a mistake, cross it out and rewrite it. And Darsh, would you unmute yourself to tell me what markings we need in this word? Icicle is the way we say it.
Double underlining E. I think job 4.
That's exactly right. Great job, Adarsh. And let's underline k and ol. They're the reason for the silent final E. What about the first 2 syllables? How do we mark those?
Underline the C and I.
Well, it's not saying a sh sound, so we're going to look at them as 2 different phonograms. Since it's icicle. What do we do to this I? Icicle.
But thinking cap.
What sound is it saying, Adarsh? I. What do we do to a vowel saying its name?
Put 3 above it.
No, it's anytime a vowel says its name, we underline, boys and girls. Remember? Not a 2 on top, but for vowels saying their name, we underline. Okay, now over here, icicle. How do we mark our K's?
Double line, underline both of them.
No, it's saying a S sound.
Put a thinking cap.
No, look at your classmates. Can you see what they're saying?
I can't see it because
because
it won't let me unpin.
Okay. Well, we're going to put a 2 on top of this, Adarsh, because it's the second sound. Icicle, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And for the part of speech, Adarsh, it's a thing. What part of speech is a person, place, or thing?
Noun.
A noun, correct. Good job. Okay, boys and girls, time for our next word. Our next 2 words go together. The first one is ignore. Would you say ignore?
Ignores.
Ignore, like it can be hard to ignore a noisy little brother or sister. It can be hard to ignore that sometimes.
What is a part of speech for icicle?
A noun. Or you could say, sometimes I like to ignore my alarm when I'm really sleepy. Do any of you like to ignore your alarm and kind of act like, oh, that's not really doing anything?
I don't have an alarm.
Arjun, don't unmute yourself without permission. Sai, do you ignore your alarm sometimes?
I don't have an alarm, but will we do ignored?
Oh, good guess, but no, not ignored. We'll see if you can guess the next one when we get to it. Now, ignore, sound it out with me. Ignore, 2 syllables. Thank you, Darshika and Rashim. Everybody else sound it out with me. Ignore, 2 syllables. First syllable is basic code. Second syllable is the or phonogram. Oh, Devansh, what are you writing? Not quite time yet.
I was writing the part of speech for icicle.
Devansh, please don't unmute yourself. Okay, but we shouldn't be writing anything right now. Drop that pencil. Okay, and I see Arima knows what we need to have at the end of this word. Arima, what do we need?
Silent final E, job 1.
Oh, good guess. Ignore. It's not exactly an O sound. I would call this odd job 6 for silent final E. But that is a good guess because it is almost an O sound. But just remember a silent final E at the end of this word. Pick up your pencil to write it, please. And Rihanna, if you can hear me, come back, please. Rihanna, if you can hear me, please come back to your spot. What's so funny, Shatish?
I was just laughing at like that, but anyways, Rihanna has headsets, so I think she cannot hear you.
I see her now. There she is. Rihanna has returned. Let's write ignore or silent final E, job 6. Odd job 6. There's Rihanna. Now she's got her headphones in so she can hear us, I think. Rihanna, would you write the word ignore? Try to do it on your own without looking. Okay, and Krish, could you unmute yourself and tell me the markings?
Okay, so ig is basic code. And then nor is silent final E, job 6.
Silent final E, job 6, and or, the phonogram or. Krish, what part of speech is this? Like, I can't ignore my little sister.
Verb.
Good.
Verb. It's the action that you're doing.
Excellent. Okay, now we're going to turn it into an adjective. It's a word we talked about with Black Beauty pretty often. Anybody have a guess as to what we're going to write as the adjective form of this word? Ahana, do you have a guess?
Ignorant.
Perfect. Ignorant. Ignorant means somebody, it's a word describing somebody who doesn't really know what they're doing. They don't understand much. For example, Black Beauty said ignorant drivers were ones that weren't really paying attention to the road and didn't know how to properly ride a horse, right? Like maybe they didn't know that a little loose pebble got stuck in a horseshoe. And that can really hurt a horse. So ignorant people can be quite dangerous. We're going to remove our silent final E in the next word because we're adding a vowel suffix. It becomes ignore ant. Basic code, ant. Please write ignore ant. Ig, syllable break, n or ant. Ignore ant. Check that your spelling matches mine and cross it out and rewrite it if you need to. Tricia, would you unmute yourself and tell me the markings?
So ig is basic code, and then nor you have to underline the or, and then that's it.
Okay, let me pronounce this word for you. Ignorant. Ignorant. So we've got
and you have to
two
put thinking
caps. Where
caps
do we put the thinking caps?
on top of the or, because the word doesn't make the sound ignore.
Exactly. And we need one more thinking cap over here. Ignorant.
And above the A.
Good. Now this word modifies a noun. What part of speech does that make it? Kshitij?
It's an adjective, is a part of speech used to define or
Describe or define.
the meaning of a noun or a pronoun. It answers the questions how many, whose, which one, or what kind. It modifies a noun or a pronoun. It modifies a noun or a pronoun.
You got it. Okay, time for a dictated sentence. Okay, here it is. Did you ignore the icicle over your head? What is it? Did you ignore the icicle over your head? Don't look up. It might fall down on you. That could be dangerous. Did you ignore the icicle over your head? Say it back to me. Excellent. Saisanov, what's the sentence?
Did you ignore the icicle over your head?
You got it. Please pick up your pencil to write it now. Drisha and Kshitij, it looks like you're looking at the computer. Please look at your paper and write the sentence. Could you give me a thumbs up if you're finished with your sentence? Okay. Did you ignore the icicle over your head? Okay, and let's hear from a couple of you if you created a sentence and would like to share. Birthday boy Arima, do you have a sentence to share?
Mine was, the ignorant icicle ignored me in a horse way.
That's silly. I like it. Okay, Krish, what about you?
Okay, mine is the icicle ignored the ignorant boy. Wait. The icicle ignored the ignorant gravity.
The ignorant Oh, it ignored gravity by just floating up instead of falling, maybe?
Yeah.
Okay, and let's hear one more from Shatij.
The ignorant horse had a hoarse voice that because he ignored people and an icicle fell on his head.
That's good. I like a horse with a hoarse voice. That's cute. Okay, boys and girls, let's put away our spelling now. We've got some well-ordered language we're going to get to next. Spending a pretty short time on this because you guys are doing so well with those object pronouns. Thumbs up if you're feeling good about object pronouns. As of right now, how do we mark words that are object pronouns in a sentence? What do we do to mark those? Saisanov?
They're normally DOs, but we just mark them as just regulars. We just mark them as a noun.
We mark them as a DO. Yeah, and eventually we'll see that object pronouns could be an object of the preposition, but right now it's just the DO, the direct object. Today we're going to take a look at which object pronouns we should choose in a sentence to replace, okay? So let's review all of those object pronouns again. Arjun, could you tell us all of the object pronouns, starting with me?
Me, you, him, her, it, we, you, them.
Very close. Instead of we, what is the object pronoun?
Me, you, him, her, it. It's me instead.
Yes, but instead of we, it is me, you, him, her, it, us. Very, very close. That was the only one that was different. We is the subject pronoun. Us is turning it into an object pronoun. Okay, Saisanov, could you tell us all 8 object pronouns?
Okay. Me, you, him, her, it, us, you, them.
Perfect. Rihanna, tell us all 8 object pronouns, please. Uh-oh. We'll call on somebody else until she gets back. Adarsh, can you tell us all 8 object pronouns?
Just 1 minute. Rihanna joined.
Sai, please don't unmute yourself without permission. Adarsh, I need you to head on back. Rihanna, can you give us the object pronouns?
Me, you, him, her, it, what, it, us, you, them.
Perfect. Well done, Rihanna. Okay, boys and girls, turn to page 16 in your well-ordered language books, and we are going to replace some direct objects with an object pronoun. And Adarsh, we're going to turn to page 16. Would you give us the object pronouns? Can you say all 8? The first one is me.
Me, you, him, her, it, us, you, them. Me, you,
Perfect.
him, her, it, us, you, them.
You got it, Adarsh. Well done. Okay, boys and girls, the following sentences have a direct object, and we are going to find an object pronoun that will replace it. Remember that the singular pronouns are me, you, him, her, it. The plural pronouns are us, you, and them. For people, we use me, you, him, her, us, or you. For things, we would use it or them. Here's an example sentence of what we're going to do. Fritz spotted some bats. We replace bats with them, since that is a plural. There's our plural side. And us would not be correct because Fritz is not spotting, himself or talking to the bats, you. He spotted them. Okay, sentence 1 says Aunt Gabby saw the sunset. Now, first of all, Drisha, what is the direct object in this sentence? Uh-oh, I'll get to her for the next one. Rashi, what's the direct object in this sentence?
What?
What is the direct object in this sentence?
The direct object is the sunset.
Good. And Gabby is our subject. And Gabby saw, what did she see? A sunset. Now, Rashi, what object pronoun would be the best replacement for sunset? Is a sunset one thing or more than one thing?
One thing.
Good. So it's one of these singular pronouns. Which one is it?
Me.
Did Aunt Gabby saw me?
No.
What would be the best replacement for sunset?
Aunt Gabby saw
Which one do we use for things, not people, but things?
Things, it.
Good, it. So we're going to replace sunset with it. And do we need an article adjective for it anymore?
No.
And Gabby saw the it. No, we just say Aunt Gabby saw it. Thank you, Rashi. Okay, so that's what we'll do for sentence 1. Rihanna, could you read aloud sentence 2 and tell us what the direct object is?
The sky displays rosy clouds and the direct object is clouds.
Very good. What object pronoun would be a good replacement for clouds?
Them.
Good. Them. That is the only one that works. It's plural and it can be used for things. The sky displayed sorry, not rosy. We won't say rosy anymore because adjectives can sometimes just describe pronouns, but not in this way. So we'll just say them, removing the word rosy too. And let's do one more. Arima, could you read sentence 3 and choose a good object pronoun?
Yeah. Dad brought Winston and me along. I think the sentence should be Dad brought us along.
Very good. Us correctly replaces Winston and me because when we use the word us, it means Like me, yourself, plus one other person at least. So Dad brought us along. Makes sense, doesn't it? All right, you've got 2 more that you'll do on your own, as well as some sentences to analyze after class today. That's all for well-ordered language. Once you're done with that, you can close up your workbook. Take a moment to stretch, move around a little bit, and we are going to get right into roots. We're doing 1 new card today to finish up our roots for the week. And we need orthography notebooks to sort our words today. So we want 1 index card and orthography notebooks once you're done with this. Would anybody like to try our new Ella Telefoni poem as we transition into roots and orthography? Darshika?
Okay, yeah, one sec. Like, I got a new place, so just. Okay, yeah, I think it's okay now. Can you see me, Miss Garner?
Yes.
Okay. Ella Telefoni by Laura Elizabeth Richards. Once there was an elephant who tried to use a telephone. No, I mean an elephone who tried to use a telephone. Dear me, I am not certain quite how that even now I got it right. However, it was he got his tongue entangled in the telephone. The more he tried to get it free, the louder buzzed the telephone. I fear I better drop the song, or else
Of Ella Fop.
or of a elephant or a of a elephant and a telephone. Ella Telefoni by Laura Elizabeth Richards.
Great job. Well done with that, Darshika. You have it basically completely memorized.
Yeah, I still have to work on it a little more, but yeah.
Very good. Okay, we might have time for another one later, but let's move on to roots. We've got 1 more card today, and then you'll be done with your whole nomen nominis little packet. What does nomen nominis mean in Latin? Saisanop, what does it mean?
Name and noun. Or
Name
noun.
or noun. Very good. So today we are going to look at a word that is possibly new for you, but it connects really well to something we did in science at the very beginning of the year. Who remembers what our very first science unit was on? At the start of 3rd grade. Arima?
Was it ecosystems?
Actually, it was before that. It's something that's in an ecosystem.
Wait, is it geography?
No, that was for history. We did start with geography. You want somebody to help you out? Okay, Nethra, do you remember?
The classes of animals.
You got it. The classification of animals. We specifically went through a lot of the classes of vertebrates. Now, remember the man that we learned about, Carl Linnaeus? Who who named almost all of our living things, both plants and animals. He came up with the scientific names for plants and animals. Now that system of naming things is called nomenclature. Would you say nomenclature?
Nomenclature.
Yeah, nomenclature. So classification has to do with putting things in different groups. Nomenclature is the system of giving things names. Nomenclature. Rhymes with nature or has the same spelling pattern as literature. Nomenclature.
Nomenclature.
Okay, here it is, nomenclature.
I thought it was two different words.
It's one word, a long one. And it's the system of giving things names, just like Carl Linnaeus did.
When you said nomen, the first thing I thought about is Chinese food.
Ramen noodle.
Boys and girls, that's about 3 people in a row who unmuted themselves without permission. You need to wait to be called on. So nomenclature. It is the system of names used to classify knowledge or what we call things. Okay, so that is all of our roots for the whole week now. You've got a completed packet at this time, so you can staple all your cards together. And we won't have a quiz tomorrow. It's not going to be until next Friday that we have a quiz. So you've got all of your nomen nominous words now. Yes, Isanov?
On yesterday's spelling quiz, actually, I mean, not spelling, spelling lesson, grateful should go in the synonyms or antonyms page, right?
You know, I don't think that we ended up doing that. Every time during orthography notebook days, or like during the time that we sort our words in orthography, there's a lot of places that we could write them and we don't write them in every place.
Okay, I got it.
You can add that one if you'd like, though, on your own. Usually there's a lot of different places that we could write the words that we just don't have the time to do all of them. So I just pick and choose a few. So let's get started on writing our words in orthography. And you've been in class for about an hour. Take a moment to get your eyes off of the computer as you're getting your things out. Stretch a little bit. We'll begin by writing just the words from today's lesson on page 51. Yes, Krish?
This is how much cards we did in total.
Since the beginning of the year? Wow,
Yeah.
that's a lot. And it's
I
going to be
don't
almost
staple it
double
because-
that by the end of the year.
Yeah, I didn't staple them, I think.
You didn't staple them?
Yeah.
This is how much we did.
Wow, you guys have so many root cards.
Is it
What a
okay,
good
Miss
feeling. You're going to have about double that by the end of the school year. Isn't that crazy? Yes, Sai?
Miss Gunn, I have only one more packet left to finish. It's
Same.
like I always finish 2
I
packets.
think I have 2 more.
Whoa, so you guys are going to need more cards before the year's over.
I need 2 more, and we have to do 17.
Actually, I'm gonna need more lined paper. It's almost gone.
Wow.
This is how much cards we did.
So many. Oh my goodness. Okay, everybody put yourselves on mute now.
And Miss Garner, is it okay if it's not stapled?
You should be stapling each group together. Okay, boys and girls, let's write our words from today's lesson on page 51 now. Our first word was hoarse, like a hoarse voice. After that, you'll write icicle. Number 3 is ignore. Brianna, are you writing your words down?
I'm done.
Let me see your page. And the last one is ignorant, boys and girls. All of them should look like this. Okay. I would like you to rewrite them a little more neatly so that your short line letters come all the way up to the middle dotted line. Have good, proper letter formation for each of those words. Okay, Rihanna? Everybody else as well, work on really good, proper letter formation. Especially during literacy time. We want to have great handwriting. That looks very good, Krish.
Krish, boys.
Let me see your best handwriting, everybody, as you write each of these 4 words. Please open to page 14 once you're done with that. Page 14 is the homophone page. What words do we have on the list today that were homophones? Remembers. Brianna, what word on the list was a homophone?
Ignore and ignorant.
Oh, good guess. No, it's not those two. It's a word that sounds just like another word.
Wait.
What is it, Rihanna?
Horse.
Horse, that's right. Horse like a horse voice and horse like the animal. Once you're done with that, we're going to flip over to page 5.
What page is
That was
the holophone
16. Now page 5. We had the word horse that uses the O, the O of boat phonogram, and ignore uses or. Please write those 2 words on page 5. Once you're done with those, that is all for orthography. You can start taking out your things for division for math time as we continue our division unit. Yes, Isanov?
The remainders one was super easy.
Oh, I'm so glad to hear it. Because this is getting to some harder parts of our math. So it's great to hear that you did well with it.
It was very easy.
I think like when you do it with the remainders, it's really easy.
That is wonderful to hear. Well, we are going to have a new lesson today, but it goes with the remainders. So if any of you are still having kind of a hard time with remainders, it's okay because we'll do it a little bit more today. And tomorrow even we'll review during our live class, and then you'll take a quiz on your own on Bright Thinker. Okay, so for your math class today, you need a few things. You need your workbook, your notebook, and a whiteboard and marker. Because we're going to do some division facts, as well as going over our homework. And then finally, doing a short new lesson. Okay, so whiteboard, workbook, and notebook and whiteboard, 4 things. Okay, let's start off with some division facts. And Arima, since it is your birthday, would you like to lead this? You can unmute yourself and give the class some division facts to solve. Only the mental division facts, though, up to our 12 facts in multiplication, okay? So it could be anything up to that. We will do no remainders for a few problems, but then if you want to do one that has remainders, I'll let you do that next, okay? Do you want to lead the class in that? So you can give any division problem that would be on like division flashcards.
Should we write these in our notebook and answer them?
This is going to be in your whiteboard. Good question, Nethra. Just write it on your whiteboard, and then when Arima tells you to, everybody hold up your board to him to see if it's correct. And me, I'll check that it's correct.
Guess you should have seen Arima before.
Wait, what was it?
Arima, would you like to give some division problems for your classmates to solve? For example, you could tell them 20 divided by 5, and they have to solve it and hold up their answer. What?
Should I be like a 2-digit number or a 3-digit number?
Only up to 144, like our mental facts.
Okay.
Okay.
Should I ask one now?
Yep, you can go ahead whenever you're ready. Looks like your classmates are all ready.
Okay, I'm going to start easy. What is 100 divided by 10?
Okay, 100 divided by 10. And wait until it's time. Arima will tell you when to hold up your board with your answers.
Yeah, hold it up now.
Okay, Arima, is that correct?
Yes.
Good job. Time for the next one.
What is 48 divided by 12?
Ooh, good one.
Really? Hold it up now, if you're done. Yeah, it's 4. What is 60 divided by 5?
Good one. 60 divided by 5.
Now, if you took me, you know.
The answer
12.
is 12.
Yep, good job. Okay, now do you want to give them one with remainders, but give a number less than 100?
Okay. Well, what is 38 divided by 3?
Good. 38 divided by 3. There will be a remainder for this one. Rihanna, sweetheart, can you write that more neatly, please? And remember, boys and girls, that we write our remainder with the number left over on top of the number we divide by. So 3 will be the denominator for this remainder.
Yeah. The answer is 12 and 12 remainder 2/3, or 12 remainder.
Perfect. 12 remainder, 2 out of 3, because 3 times 12 is 36, but then you have 2 remaining when dividing by 3. So that's how we write them remainder. If you did not write it that way, you can change it now. Instead of just remainder 2, we write a remainder as 2/3. Okay, Arima, can you give one more problem with a remainder?
Okay. What is 9? Oh, wait, no. What is 35 divided by 4?
Good. 35 divided by 4. Remember, there is a remainder, and write it as a fraction. Good. 8 3/4 is correct with this one, because 8 times 4 is 32, but then you have 3 extras when dividing by 4. Great job, Arima. Thank you for leading the class in that. That's good. You had some really great division problems for them. Okay, boys and girls, at this time, we're going to go over our answers to our homework pages from yesterday. So please put your whiteboard away and take out your workbook. Let's go over answers.
Actually, 35 divided by 4 is what we had yesterday.
Oh, that worked out pretty well. It was one of your problems. Oh, you're right. Yep, it was number 10. Okay, let's go over the answers starting on page 149. How did you guys feel about the homework yesterday? Thumbs up, sideways, or down? I see lots of thumbs up. That's great. Again, we will have more time to spend on this concept today and tomorrow in class too. Ahana, I don't know if it's a problem with the connection or if you turned your camera off. I cannot see you for some reason. There, now I can see you.
And Miss Garner, we took a picture of it.
Yes, this is one that you uploaded. Thank you if you already did that. Okay, for problem number 1 on page 149, Nethra, what did you get as an answer? 24 ones divided by 3.
I got 8 remainder 0.
Perfect. Thumbs up if you got the same as Nethra.
Wait, is it 8 remainders? I thought 8 was already the answer.
Tysonov, you're unmuting yourself without permission. Make sure you raise your hand if you've got a question. The answer is 8 remainder 0. Since 3 times 8 equals exactly 24, there is no remainder. Who got that right? Excellent. Arjun, can you share your answer for number 2?
So 22 ones divided by 4, the quotient is 5, and the remainder is 2.
Very good. You'll have a remainder of 2 because when you multiply 4 times 5, it's 20. So there's 2 left over. You write the remainder as 2 over 4 because it's showing this like a picture. There's 2 remaining or 2 left over out of the 4 groups that we need. There's the 1, 2 out of a possible 4. We always write this number, the divisor, what we're dividing by, as the denominator. So if you did not write your remainder that way, please change it to that way now. I know we'd spent a pretty short time on it, that part yesterday. So it's okay if you forgot to write the remainder that way. Nethra, please stop playing around with your chair, okay? And did you come back over to the computer? And Saisnav, would you share your answer for number 3?
Okay. So wait, which is number 3? Oh, okay. So 20 divided by 4 equals 5.
Perfect. 4 times 5 equals 20 should help you solve that. Next, I'll have Darshika do 4 and 5.
Miss Ghana, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay. For 4th problem, 24 divided by 4, I got 6. And for the 5th problem, 40 divided by 5, I got 8.
Perfect. 6 and 8. Rashi, would you share your answers for 6 and 7?
Okay. So the sixth problem is 32 divided by 4 equals 8. And the 7th one is 24 divided by 3 equals 8.
Perfect. 8 and 8. Finally, Krish, would you give your answers for 8 and 9?
First, I have a question in math. So, do we lose points because I wrote, when I took a picture, I wrote that 5 remainder 2. So, do we lose points for not putting the fraction? Ms. Gardner? Ms. Gardner?
Can you hear me?
Yeah. Do we lose points on the grade when you send me? Because I wrote 5 remainder 2. I just wrote the number on remainders. So do we
No,
lose
no, you will not lose points on that because I did not go over that much with you in class. Moving forward, you need to write the remainder that way, but you won't lose points for that assignment.
Okay, so 50 divided by 5 is 10. And should I do the next one?
Yes, please.
18 divided by 2 is 9.
Excellent. Okay. Thumbs up if you did well with that page. Good. Okay. Ahna, could you share your answer for number 10 on the next page?
For number 10, the so for number 10, the alien page, so 35 divided by 4, the quotient will be 8, and the remainder will be 3 ones, and so then you'll have 3 eyes on it.
Very good. The quotient is 8 with a remainder of 3. We write it as 3/4. So that's your fraction, 3/4. If you only wrote 3, please change it to 3/4. Great job, Ahna. And if you need to write out your multiples like this, you can certainly do that. Darsh, would you share your answer for number 11? I don't see where he is. Shatij, would you share your answer for number 11?
Number 11 will be, the quotient will be 7 and the remainder shall be 1 by 5.
Good. A quotient of 7 with a remainder of 1 over 5.
Yeah, I call it 1 by 5.
Okay. We'll get into this a little bit more later, but I like to say for these fractions of the remainder, there's 1 as a remainder when dividing by 5. 1 as a remainder when dividing by 5, because that's what's happening here. So here's the multiples of 5. 35 is the biggest without going over 36. And finally, the last one, 49 divided by 5, 9 is the biggest possible number that can go into 49 without going over. And you'll have a remainder of 4/5. Okay, that's all for going over the homework. Let's take a look at odd and even numbers now. So you won't need your workbook for now. All you'll need is your notebook. Who knows what odd and even numbers are? Devansh, tell us what odd numbers are and give us some examples of some odd numbers.
The odd numbers are 1, 3. Like the odd numbers that are not in the 2 table.
Oh, good way of looking at it. Yeah, it's ones that are not in the 2 table. 1, 3, 5, 7, and 9. Any of those where those digits are in the ones place are called odd numbers. Sorry, the connection is not good for me right now. I don't know if you can hear me.
We can.
Yeah.
Sorry about that, boys and girls. Very slow connection. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good.
Loud and clear.
Thank you. That's great. So excellent. Odd numbers are ones with 1, 3, 5, 7, or 9 in the ones place. They are not in the twos table. Now, even numbers are ones that would be in the twos table. Krish, what are even numbers?
Even numbers are numbers that we could divide equally.
That's right. You can divide them equally into 2. There's
Yeah, like
always
you can divide,
one of these digits in the ones place.
like you can divide 2 into 1. You can divide 4 into 2. We can just keep going into like 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
That's exactly right. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. It could be even 486. Right? And all we have to look at is the ones place to see, well, that was a 6 in the ones place, so it's an even number.
It equals to 243.
Oh, very good, Krish. Keep yourself on mute for now, though. So all we have to do is look at the ones place to determine if a number is odd or even. If you had a number like 421, well, the 4 and 2 are even numbers, but we just look at the ones place to determine if is it an odd or even number. And it's odd because it has a 1 in the ones place, which means it's not divisible by 2. 1, 3, 5, 7, and 9 cannot be divided equally among 2. There will always, always, always be 1 as a remainder if you divide one of these by 2. Right? If 3 is divided by 2, we want to divide 3 into 2 groups. Well, we've got enough for 2 groups with an even number, 1 in each, but there's this 1 left. There's a remainder of 1. If we have 5, well, now we can have 2 in each group, but there's still 1 remaining. 7, well, we can put those 2 in equal groups, but there's still 1 remaining. There's always a remainder of 1. And we always will write this remainder as 1/2, or 1 as a remainder when dividing by 2. Now, even numbers are, once again, any number that ends with a 2, 4, 6, 8, or 0. So let's add one more. Now we've got an odd number of 8 cubes total. If there are 6, those are also evenly matched. 4 is an even match. 2, even 0 would be. Even though you wouldn't divide 0 by 2. You can divide 10 by 2, though. So even numbers are any numbers with a 2, 4, 6, 8, or 0 in the ones place. All of these are odd numbers, and whenever you divide one of them by 2, there will be a remainder of 1. So in these examples of 11 divided by 2 and 15 divided by 2, is our quotient of 11 divided by 2, Drisha? Let's take away 1, and you get 10. Oh, I hate when that happens. And Darshika's abacus would help with this too, really seeing odd numbers versus even numbers. Arjun, what's the answer to 11 divided by 2?
It's 5. Since 10 divided by 2 is 5, and then the remainder is 1.
Good. So we can just take away the 1. We're left with 10 divided by 2, which is 5, and we'll have 1 remaining out of 2. 15 divided by 2. Let's go down 1. Arjun, please wait until you're called upon. So if we go down by 1 to 14, 14 divided by 2 is what, Adarsh?
What?
What is 14 divided by 2? Or 2 times what equals 14?
7.
7, good. So it'd be an answer of 7 with a remainder of, like always, 1 out of 2. Okay, time for us to write some notes. Let's write a header at the top of your page. Today's date is January 7th, 2021. This is math lesson 8.3. Okay, this is, I know, quite a bit of review. Many of you already know odd and even numbers. It is helpful to keep in mind with division, though, because you should always be saying that you can't divide an odd number evenly by 2 ever. There will always be this remainder, so it kind of helps you with a little shortcut. So odd numbers have the digits 1, 3, 5, 7, or 9 in the ones place. We're only focusing on the ones place. For example, 69 is an odd number because there's a digit 9 in the ones place. Now, when dividing by 2, there is always a remainder of 1/2, or a remainder of 1 when dividing by 2. Now, even numbers. Even numbers have the digits 0, 2, 4, 6, or 8 in the ones place. Like 672. All we need to do is look at, sorry about that, the ones place, It doesn't matter if there's an odd number anywhere else in the number. All we do is look at the ones place to determine if it's odd or even. Now, when dividing by 2, there is no remainder for an even number. Okay, so last part of what you'll be doing in your notebook is just a little practice of identifying a number as odd or even. I'll have you do this independently, just writing odd or even in the blank, and then we'll go over our answers. And as an extra challenge, you can divide each of them by 2 to practice that part.
Miss Garner, can you go down?
Yes, is that better? Thumbs up if you are finished with identifying odd or even. Okay. And once again, as an extra challenge, if you would like to divide each of these by 2, that would be a good challenge. Adarsh, are you finished? Good. Rashi, you're finished now? Okay. Who is still working on identifying odd or even? Okay, I'll give a little extra time. Once again, remember to look only at the ones place. Okay, anybody still need extra time? Okay, looks like we are ready to go. Drisha, would you please unmute yourself and tell us, for number 1, is this an odd or even number?
Number 1 is an odd number.
Actually, take a look at the ones place, only the ones place.
Okay. Sorry, I thought it was the thousands place.
Yep, always look at the ones place. It doesn't matter what number is in any other place value except for the one.
I thought that you have to check the thousands place instead.
That's okay. Well, now you know.
Well,
Always look just at the ones place.
then it's even.
That's right, even. Did anybody divide it by 2 to find an answer? Rihanna, could you share what you found as the answer?
To 800, it's 900, and then I divided that by 2, which is 2,450, and then
Oh
I
my
divided
goodness.
that by 2, which is 1,225, and then
Where did it go?
and then for the fourth number, it would be 238. Then I divided that by 102, and that's 119.
Everybody give Rihanna a hand. That is such a good way to practice what we're doing and challenge yourself even more. I love that, Rihanna. That's fabulous. So, yep, 4,900 is what we would get when dividing by 2. But you could keep dividing like Rihanna. That's really great to practice that. Okay, number 2. Arima, tell us if this is an odd or even number and how you know.
It's an odd number because the ones digit, if it was divided by 2, it wouldn't have a positive, uneven remainder.
Very good. If it was divided by 2, there would be a remainder of 1 still. Can you tell us what it would be if we divided by 2, Arima?
It would be 0.5.
The remainder would be, yes. So we'd get a quotient of 5 if we divided by 2, with a remainder of 0.5, or as a fraction, we write it 1 over 2. Okay, Tish, can you do number 3 for us?
And if you want question number 2 to be more exact, you can do the real answer. If you want it to be more exact, you could do 5.5.
Very good. I think that's what Arima was talking about as well. So yes, as decimal, you could write it that way, which is not necessarily more exact than a fraction. It's just a different way of writing it. Very good, Shatish. That's great to challenge yourself with decimal points too. Okay, and now Shatish, number 3. Is it odd or even?
Number 3 will be odd because 9 is an odd number.
Very good. And did anybody find what it is when dividing by 2? Arjun?
It's 14.
And with a remainder of?
14 and a half.
Very good. All of these odd numbers will have a remainder of 1/2. Krish, can you tell us number 4, odd or even?
Even.
How do you know?
Because the 6, 0, 2, 4, 6, and there is it. And the answer to 476 divided by 2 is 268.
286, I think it should be. So
No,
close.
it's 476.
Yeah, let me divide this by 2. 2, and we are dividing by 2. Yes. Okay. So 238. Actually, I said that wrong.
Yeah, that's the answer.
Okay. Yes, 238. Okay. How do you guys feel about odd and even numbers?
Good with division.
Good. Okay, let's take a look at what you'll have for homework. Should be easy peasy if you did well with our lesson today, and you guys all did a great job. It says here, is 21 an even number? Explain your answer. If it's yes, explain why it is an even number. If it's no, explain why it's odd or how you know it's not even. Then the same thing with this one. Is 32 an odd number? Yes or no? And explain your answer. You can explain according to the ones digit, but also like with the picture to say, it doesn't have a pair. There's always an odd one out when dividing by 2. Here we're going to divide by 2, these odd or even numbers, and remember to write your remainder as a fraction. If it's an odd number, it will have this as a remainder. Down below, answer these questions according to these answers. Which one is the even number? There's only one. And then there will be 2 odd numbers. They have a blank of blank when divided by 2. Over here, just figure out which ones are odd, which ones are even. You'll circle the even numbers and then just write out the odd numbers. And then write the ones digit of even numbers, just the ones digit. And then write the ones digit of odd numbers. And finally, this is a really fun one. I like these. You're going to try to scramble these numbers into the biggest 4-digit odd number you can make. Remember that it will end with an odd number. But do you want your thousands place to be a bigger digit if possible? Or your hundreds? Yeah, you want your thousands and hundreds to be the biggest value they can possibly be, and you want the ones place to be the smallest possible to make a greatest odd number. And then scramble these to make the least 4-digit even number. Okay, so you want to make it as small as possible. So try to keep the biggest digits to the tens and ones place. And you can't start your number with a 0. That's the extra part of this. You cannot start with a 0. Who thinks they can figure this out? The greatest 4-digit odd number and the smallest 4-digit even number. Okay. You guys did a great job in today's lesson. Any questions or comments before we head out? I've got reading groups with Sai, Adarsh, Shatij, and Ahana.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Everybody, thank you for a wonderful class. I'll talk to you tomorrow.
Bye, Steiner.
Adarsh left.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.